Something huge is brewing in Washington right now. And if you rely on Social Security or Medicare, you need to hear this. A new bipartisan proposal is gaining serious traction, one that could pump trillions of dollars into Social Security and help keep benefits fully funded for the next 75 years. Yes, this isn't just another headline. This is a real concrete plan that both Republicans and Democrats are finally starting to agree on. But there's a twist. It would completely change how the Social Security Trust Fund is managed, how your future benefits are paid for, and even how Washington invests your retirement money. That's just part one. We've also got Medicare changes coming that could hit your ability to get the care you need in several states as early as 2026. You'll want to know exactly what services are being targeted and how it could affect you or a loved one. If you're receiving Social Security retirement, SSDI, SSI, survivors, spousal, VA, or if you're about to sign up for Medicare in the next few years, the information in this video directly impacts your money, your healthcare access, and your long-term planning. Don't tune out now. This is exactly the kind of moment that separates the people who prepare from the ones who get blindsided. And if you stick around until the end, I'll break down how this new investment strategy could work like a pension fund for the entire country, potentially delivering massive long term growth for your benefits while avoiding tax hikes or painful retirement age increases. If you've ever felt like Congress keeps kicking the Social Security can down the road, this might be the first time in decades they're seriously trying to change that. So, if you find value in straight to the point updates like this, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a critical update. I'm watching these moves daily so you don't have to. So, what exactly is this proposal? And why is it gaining attention now? It comes from Senators Bill Cassidy, a Republican, and Tim Kaine, a Democrat. Their bipartisan plan was just published in the Washington Post, and here's the core idea. The Social Security Trust Fund is set to become insolvent by 2033, meaning in just about 7 years, the program will no longer be able to pay full benefits unless something changes. Cassidy and Caney are proposing the creation of a new, separate investment trust fund, one that doesn't replace the existing one, but runs alongside it. This new fund would be invested in assets like stocks and bonds, just like pension funds and IRAs are. The difference? Right now, the Social Security Trust Fund can only hold government securities, essentially IOUs that return much less than what you'd earn from long term stock investments. This limits how much the trust fund grows, especially in times when inflation is high or interest rates are low. By building a new fund that actually invests in the market, just like every major pension system in America, they argue we could unlock much larger returns. Here's how it would work. The Treasury would front load the fund with roughly $1.5 trillion. Dollars. Over 75 years, this fund would grow through market gains, similar to how the S&P 500 has grown over the past 4 decades. The government would continue paying benefits during that time, and after 75 years, the new fund would repay the Treasury its initial contribution. Everything beyond that, interest and capital gains, would help pay benefits for the next generations. The comparison Cassidy and Caney make is to the National Railroad Retirement Investment Trust, created by Congress in 2001, which is still operating in the black today with better than expected returns and no missed payments. They also point out that nearly every state pension system already uses this model. So why not Social Security? The numbers speak for themselves. The S&P 500 has grown over 35,000% since 1985. Even with all the recessions, crashes, and pandemics, the market has historically doubled roughly every 5 to 7 years. Holding money in treasuries might feel safe, but it means losing out on real long-term growth that could prevent benefit cuts down the road. Now, this doesn't come without risks or criticism. Some say the idea of waiting 75 years to see full payback feels unrealistic. But that's the point. This is a long term fix designed to protect benefits for your children and grandchildren without resorting to tax hikes or raising the retirement age again. Remember, the last big Social Security reform happened under Ronald Reagan. That's over 40 years ago. Since then, Congress has done next to nothing to address solvency, and we're running out of time. Let's be honest. Most people don't want their taxes raised and they don't want to wait until age 70 to retire. So, this proposal might be one of the only real compromises that doesn't force either of those unpopular changes. The only question now is whether Congress has the will to move forward. But that's only one part of today's update. We've also got serious changes hitting Medicare, and they're coming much sooner, starting in 2026 to be exact. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS, is rolling out new prior authorization requirements in several states. And if you've ever had to deal with prior authorization, you know it can be a nightmare. It takes the decision away from your doctor and puts it in the hands of insurance middlemen. In 2026, 6 states, including Oklahoma, will be affected first. But the list of services being impacted is even more concerning. We're talking about 17 essential procedures and treatments, including nerve stimulators, epidural steroid injections for pain, spinal fusions, skin and tissue substitutes, and joint treatments. These aren't optional services. They're life improving, often life sustaining treatments. And now patients will be forced to get clearance from Medicare first, potentially delaying care when it's needed most. And here's the real kicker. Once this system is in place, the number of services requiring prior approval could grow fast. Today it's 17. Tomorrow it could be 50. Next year, hundreds. And once it expands beyond those initial 6 states, it's likely to affect millions of Americans. Why is this happening? The government wants to cut costs, but the price could be paid in delays, denials, and worsening outcomes for real people. This isn't speculation. It's already happening in private insurance plans. And now Medicare is following suit. This is exactly why so many seniors are turning to independent Medicare advisors, like the ones at Chapter Medicare. Unlike big insurance companies, they work for you, not the insurer. They can scan the entire market and find a better plan, one that keeps your benefits high and your out of pocket costs low. In fact, many folks have reported saving over $1,000 a year by switching plans, and the service is free. If you're on Medicare or about to be, it's definitely worth making a quick call. Let's recap. The Social Security Trust Fund is heading for a funding cliff in 2033. A new bipartisan proposal could stabilize the program by building an investment trust fund, something that would finally allow your retirement dollars to grow the way they do in pensions and 401ks. This move could secure benefits for 75 years without raising taxes or cutting payments. But it needs public support to move forward. One last thing I want to leave you with. These proposals only become law if we speak up. Bipartisan plans like this often stall in Congress unless voters make noise. Senators Cassidy and Caney have taken a bold step. But if the public stays silent, this could end up like dozens of other proposals, gathering dust in a committee. Whether you support this investment strategy or prefer a different solution, it's time to make your voice heard. Call your representative, write an email, or join a local advocacy group. Social Security and Medicare